Hello. For a fun drinking game, take a shot every time I call an amigurumi plushie cute in this video. Good luck and Godspeed. July is officially over. It's August 1st, which means we get to do this all over again. Hi, I'm Ashley. I run Ashley T Art, and it's time for everything I crocheted in July. Yay. First things first, it's August 1st. Happy birthday to me! Yay! Cool, now that that's done. Hopefully this time I am slightly better prepared. Maybe, because now I have everything written down, but I also have the pattern and the yarn and how long it took me to crochet the thing written down. So I should be much more prepared and much less scatterbrained in this video. There is no guarantee that's actually how that's gonna work. We'll find out together. It is a miracle I'm making this video. Weird how having a hyperfixation actually helps with productivity sometimes. That's unusual. We're gonna hope that this setup isn't horrible, same as last time, but the stand I used last time for my phone has mysteriously disappeared into the ether. So I have no clue where that stand is. So we're just using an empty plant pot as your stand, so no guarantees it's gonna hold anything. Anyway, yeah, so let's get to figuring this out, shall we? So, very similar to last time, I will be going over the day, date, the project I finished, not necessarily started on that day, probably not started on that day. Some of these took a long time. But the project I finished on that day, I also have the pattern creator written down. I also have the yarn I used written down. And I have the amount of time, approximately, give or take, that it took me to make this project, whatever it is. So we're gonna go through them all together. I know I went through this bag last time, mayhaps. Oh no, this is my new bag. I went through that bag last time. Okay, getting started. On the 1st of July, I did another toucandana. A toucandana. A toucandana. A toucandana. I used Passionate Kelsey's bandana tutorial. I made it using a Karen cake of some sub-variety in the color Tropical Breeze. And this one took me about an hour and a half to make. Yeah. On the 4th, I did this little guy, and I love him dearly. He's a little bumblebee. He's a bumble baby. It's so cute. Oh my lord, he's precious. Just look at him. I used this. I used a Rippler pattern for this guy by Cheerful Coyote. It's a free pattern, and he's just adorable. I look at him. Look at him. Look at him. I haven't made another one of these since. It's on my to-do list, because this is the only thing I want to use this yarn for. I think maybe next time I make him, I will add another little leggy here, so he ends up having 6 legs. You know, in true bee fashion. He's so cute. I love this little guy. I love this little guy. He's so dang cute. The yarn is Premier Just Chenille. Yes, in yellow and black. It's from the dollar store. That is the cheapest yarn haul I have ever had. It's so cute. And then the white is Yarn Bee Baby Bee Angel. I should have brought this yarn when I was buying this yarn, but I did. And so this is a solid size bigger. And the pattern calls for 3 double crochet in this spot, and I only did 2 because of the size of the yarn. Or something like that. It's close enough. That's essentially the gist. I did one last. But yeah, he's so cute. I don't know how long he took. I didn't time him, but just look at how cute he is. Focus. 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 Just look at how cute he is. And you just brush it. He's just the cutest. On the 6th of July, I did a chicken. Now, a lot of people do Mabel chickens, which is fine. They're adorable. They're chunky and I love them. But, I don't know. They always seemed a little boring to me. So, I went and I looked on Etsy and I spoiled myself earlier this month and bought myself a chicken pattern for this little guy. Look at his little wings. Isn't he just so cute? He's just so cute. I don't think this is supposed to look like this, but it adds to it. I feel like he's just so cute. I will say I did not do the beak the way the pattern said, and I kind of regret that. I kind of wish I did whoa. I kind of wish I did the beak the way the pattern says, which is a surface crochet shape into it, but instead I just embroidered it back and forth a few times. So next time I make this guy, again, I have yarn for it, I will do it the way the pattern says, but oh my lord, he's just adorable. He's just, are your eyes? Oh no, your eyes are slanted. I didn't even realize that. Oh god. Okay, anyway, he's precious and chunky, and I love him. And his little wings are so cute. Oh my gosh. So all of this yarn is dollar store Premier Just Chenille yarn. Hibiscus. This one's yellow, I just want to say. It's either yellow or sunshine or something. Editing me will correct me right now. And then this one is black in the medley version. And it makes just a perfect little barred rock chicken. And it's so cute. This one took me about 2 hours to make, so says my timing. Just so cute. Just look at him. Just look at him. The pattern is by Yarn Whispers Crafts on Etsy. It's a well-written pattern. I had an issue with it the first few times I tried it, but that was user error, not pattern error. Just look at it. I want you to look at it. I want all of you to look at it. I also did a whale on the 6th. Now, if you'll notice, this is a different whale pattern than the whales I showed you in the last video. I was watching a video by Miss A Crochet, and she was opening packages, and somebody sent her a little whale using this pattern, and I fell in love with it immediately. He's so good. Look at the little shape. He's just so cute. Just look at that shape. Is he not just the perfect little shaped whale? It's just adorable. This yarn is also Premier Just Chenille in Aqua. Aqua. And he's so soft. He's just precious. Just precious. I actually don't think this is the whale. This was the first one I made. They look the exact same, but I'm crazy, and so I need you to know that this was the whale I made on that day. He's so cute. So cute. This took me about an hour and a half, but this was my first go at it, so it took me longer than it did the next couple of times I made it, because I have made a lot of these. They're just so cute. So hour and a half was the longest this took me when I was learning the pattern the first time. This pattern is by Poggy's Place on Etsy. I got the 10-in-1 Christmas pack for this guy, but they do have multiple, just like 2 to 3 pattern packs that you can get, and I believe this guy is in one of them. But he's just cute to look at his little face. He's just adorable. Can you imagine this guy on a keychain? Precious. So you can go there, little friend. Apparently on the 7th, I finished a bandana. I don't have it with me right now. I don't know where it is. So if I find it, I'll take a picture of it and put it here. But I make no promises. I used Red Heart Stripes Peacock. I used Passionate Kelsey's pattern. And I did not time it. So who knows how long it took me? Probably not that long. On the 8th, I finished a few things. When I went to the dollar store and bought all the Premier Just Chenille yarn, I bought a lot of colors because they were only $1.25. And so I bought like 8 skeins worth of yarn because you can't. Where else are you going to get 8 skeins of yarn for like $12, $15? It's not going to happen, right? So I went a little crazy and I bought colors that I had no idea what to do with, including a purple color, which, not knowing what to do with it, I decided to finally use it, and I made the Itty Bitty Octo pattern, which I believe was a free Instagram pattern. There'll be a link in the description. But I made, he's so small. Do you see how tiny, how itty bitty, how itty bitty this dude is. He's so tiny. He lives up to the name of itty bitty octo. He is so small. I'm not sure I did the little tentacles correctly, but oh my lord, he's so tiny. He's so small. This took me 20 minutes, which, considering I crochet quite slowly, is rather amazing. Anyway, he's adorable. I will not be keeping him, but he's precious. So there's that. I also made another whale. Another whale. This one took me 40 minutes, thereabout. So I definitely got faster by around 40 minutes, 50 minutes. They're just so cute. I also made a beanie using the panel sew method. Make a panel, sew it together, close the top. A panel beanie. And it took me around 6.5 to 7 hours to make. I am very slow when it comes to making beanies. I don't have a picture of it. That one got donated, so I don't have it. So, goodbye to that. On the 11th, I made another whale. As you can see, he is much lighter and just a tiny bit smaller than the Just Chenille, because I ran out of my Aqua Just Chenille, and I was not done making whales. I love these guys with all my heart. They're precious. They're really easy and quick to make, and so I went and I bought some Loops and Threads Cozy Cub in light blue, and it looks way more blue when you don't have this to compare it to. He looks like a narwhal in comparison. So he's precious. I didn't time this one. I started doing these during my weekly family dinners. So I'm talking to people and eating while I'm making these, so I don't time them. But I can't imagine it takes me longer than 30 to 40 minutes. Maybe an hour tops, but that's including, you know, eating and talking and all that, right? So I also made a blue beanie that I do not have a picture for. I used it mating. I made it using Loops and Threads Twisted Tones in Twisted Tones. In Chill Out Teal. I hate this yarn. I hate this yarn. I bought 2 skeins of it because it was on sale and I was going to make a scarf out of it, and I hated making the scarf. I hated making the scarf. I have had this stuff sitting in my stash since I bought it, pretty much, and I decided I wanted to get rid of it. So the big whale that I showed you in my last video was an attempt to get rid of it, and I hated doing that. And so I decided to make a beanie out of it, and I hated making the beanie. My hands hurt the entire time, pretty much. It sucked. It turned out more like a small bucket than it did a beanie. I mean, it still sufficed as a beanie. I tried it multiple times throughout the process, but it sucked. I hated working with that yarn. No offense, Loops and Threads. But it was on clearance anyway, so I think they were getting rid of it. It was so stiff. Not pleasant. The other skein is being donated. That beanie took me around 2 hours, 2.5 hours, just about. Yeah. I don't have a picture of it because I just wanted to get rid of it. So it's getting donated because it's a very thick beanie. It's a nice beanie. I just hate the yarn. On the 13th, I finished a soap saver, which I do not have a picture of because I was so excited to test it out that now it's sitting in my bathroom, saving soap. So I don't have that. However, here's a picture that comes with the pattern, which is by Cane Crochet on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. It's nice. I liked it. It worked up fantastic, and it's one of the first times I've enjoyed working with cotton yarn. So I'll probably be making a lot of those. I don't know how they'll sell, if they'll sell at all. I used Loops and Threads Classic Cotton in the color Pewter. And it took me around an hour and a half. I recommend the pattern. It was nice. It worked up quickly. Very easy to read. I don't have a picture of my actual thing. I'm sorry. I also finished 2 whales on the 13th because that was my weekly family dinner. So I finished these guys, one of which is thinner and one of which is chunkier. It's fine. We love them both. Why are you depressed? Why is your tail down? We love them both. They're precious. Yes. On the 16th, I finished a beanie because when I don't know what to do with yarn, I make beanies out of it, apparently. This one took me 9 hours and 15 minutes, so my records say, which is an insane amount of time. I think it's just because doing so many double crochets just ad infinitum, until you get to your desired length is, oh my gosh, it's so boring and mind-numbingly brainless. I mean, which is fine, except for the fact that I lose interest. So it took me a long time to get through this one. This was Big Twist living in the color Confidence. A beanie. On the 18th, I finished a market bag. It's the teeniest, tiniest, little babyest market bag. Look at how tiny it is in compared to my face. It's so small. It's so small. I don't know how big the pattern intended it to be because the pattern calls for cotton of some sort. I think it's Lily Sugar and Cream. I don't have Lily Sugar and Cream. What I do have is a Karen cake of some variety, Sunset Dreams. And I need to get rid of it. I bought it on clearance with no idea what to make with it. So I started making a market bag. This is a free pattern on Ravelry by Jen Fox. So says my records. Fine enough pattern. I mean, it's really well written. I like how it looks. Doing the bottom is terrible. I mean, no fault to the pattern at all. The pattern's fine. I don't like how it works up. Mostly because I use a small hook and so it makes my hands hurt. That's probably a me issue, not a pattern written issue. That's a me issue. I like this as is. My mom loves it. She says it's adorable. So this took me about 7 hours, by the way. The majority of that is just the bottom because I crochet so tight on the bottom to make sure nothing could fall through, which I realize is kind of irrational, but I'm anxious. I have anxiety, so that's probably what took me so long. On the 20th, I finished a cowl. A cowl. It's kind of twisted, but I think that's fine. I think it kind of adds to the cowlness of it. A cowl. It's so pretty. It's so soft. I used Yarn Bee Dream Spun in the color Delphinium. Just look at these colors. Oh my gosh. So pretty. So pretty. I used just under 3 skeins to make this. I just kind of went until I ran out of yarn. I didn't use a pattern on this. I kind of looked up how to start a cowl just to make sure I was doing it right, and then I just went. I think this is all half double crochets. Pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. This took me about 7.5 hours, just under 7.5 hours. Mostly because I kept restarting it because I'm persnickety like that. It's so soft. I'm seriously debating keeping this one for myself. I'll be super honest. Just the colors are so pretty and it's so soft, and I've never worn an infinity scarf or a cowl before, but it's so pretty and so soft. I'm seriously debating keeping this one. On the 22nd, I finished a bandana. I used Kelsey's pattern, as I always do with my bandanas. I also did this one in granny stitches instead of my usual. It looks much cuter on camera with the granny stitches than it does in person. I don't like it. I won't be doing granny stitch bandanas after this. On the 23rd, I finished another bandana. This one doesn't have any edging because I forgot. This one took me about 3 hours. This one took me about 3 hours. And then I also made this one, which also took me about 3 hours. Bandanas. On the 24th, I finished a headband. This pattern is by, pardon me, I'm gonna butcher your name, and I am so sorry, Maud Boisseau on Ravelry. This is supposed to have dragonflies in it. That's what the pattern does, is it tells you how to do dragonflies through the yarn. But I figured because it was rainbow, it was already visually heavy enough that I didn't need to add dragonflies. So I just skipped over the dragonflies. This took me 2 to 2.5 hours. On the 26th, I made another headband. I made this one slightly thinner, just because I felt like this was a little too thick. And so I made a thinner bandana. Not bandana, headband. On the 27th, I decided to try an upsize Poggy's Place whale pattern. With not ideal levels of success. See, from the front, he's adorable. Still cute. Oh. He's a little wonky. I think I did some math wrong in this decrease area. But he's rather large. He's a rather large baby. As you can see, it's a mama whale. This is Moby Dick. he's don't get me wrong, I love him. He's just a little wonky. Not to mention with the fins, my uncle and my mom decided to tell me that if you turn it upside down, it looks more like an aardvark with ears. And so now that's all I can see, is that he looks kind of aardvark-esque rather than a whale. Aardvark, whale. Aardvark, whale. That's the last thing I made in July, because the past few days I have been going crazy winding yarn balls. I don't know why people say they don't like winding yarn balls. I love winding yarn balls. I love it. It lets me zone out and I feel semi-faux productive. It's great. It's fantastic. So I've been doing that the past few days, so I have not finished any makes since. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So anyway, that was everything I made in July. Thank you for sticking around and watching this video if you did. Maybe leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you're feeling it. That would be nice. I'd appreciate that. So anyway, maybe leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're feeling nice about it. As always, I have no clue how to do an outro or end a video. So yeah. Maybe check out some of my other videos. There's my crochet playlist, which has 2 videos in it now. Huzzah! Yay me! And here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll like. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Okay, bye!